When we are talking about the current England cricket team, the first thing that comes to our mind is the fearless batting approach. This batting approach was a part of England's white ball revolution post the 2015 World Cup failure, where they failed to make it to the knockouts. Post this World Cup, all batsmen apart from Joe Root were instructed by the captain Eoin Morgan to attack from ball 1, and at the forefront of this destructive batting lineup was Jason Roy. Jason Roy is an opening batsman known for his aggressive batting approach. Born in South Africa, he moved to England at the age of 10. He made his debut as a 17-year-old for Surrey in 2008 during a T20 Blast. Although he could not make an impact with the bat, his exceptional fielding caught the eyes of the England selectors, who used him as a substitute fielder for the series against South Africa. His first breakthrough moment with the bat came in 2010 when he scored 101 against Kent in the T20 Blast. He also scored 76 from just 65 balls on his county championship debut. The talent was evident, but the area of concern was his consistency. He would often get a big score but follow it up with a series of low scores. This problem continued for a few years, which hampered Jason's progress. But in the 2014 T20 Blast, Jason Roy had a standout season as he top scored in the competition with 677 runs and an impressive average of 48.35. As a result of his standout season, Jason was called up to the T20I squad and made his debut versus India. He failed to make an impression as he made only 8 runs in his debut innings. He was later dropped from the national team, uncertain of if and when he would play for England. But then came the disastrous 2015 World Cup.
Oh, it's high in the air, it goes all the way, 6.
Third 50 in 4 innings now.
Oh, misfield, and he'll go through for the single. Mamadullah takes him through to his first 100.
Find the right wavelength, I guess. Chance of a run out, he's got.
Now he's edged that. That's pace from Rubal Hussain.
Goes for hero, bowled in, full and straight. The Bangladesh Tigers have knocked the England Lions out of the World Cup.
England were favourites to make it out of the group, but they fumbled the bag as they lost 4 out of the 6 group games with 0 wins against test playing teams. As a result, they failed to make it to the quarterfinals. This was a new low for England. Questions were asked about the player selection and their outdated batting approach. This was a time when other teams had adopted an aggressive batting approach in the power play, while England was playing the old school way of playing cautiously and saving wickets for the death overs. This tournament gave a clear signal to the captain Eoin Morgan and the coach Trevor Bayliss that they must bring in a few players who could bat aggressively at the top. Jason Roy was chosen to open along with Johnny Bairstow in the white ball formats. This was Jason's best chance to seal his spot in the white ball teams. He was told that even if he fails in a couple of innings, he would not be dropped, as an important strategy in Morgan's thinking was to give the players a longer rope and to stick with the same team until the 2019 World Cup. Hence, Roy was given the full license to attack from ball 1. Although he did not cross 40 in any of his first 5 ODI matches, thanks to Morgan's backing, he was not dropped from the team. He averaged just 33 in the 2015 ODI summer, but had a healthy strike rate of 98. His upward curve began from there, as in 2016 he scored 647 runs at an average of 43 and a strike rate of 118 ODIs. From 2016 to 2019, he stuck at over 100 for 4 consecutive years and averaged over 40 in 3 of those years, which shows that Jason had not only fulfilled the team's requirement of attacking in the power play, but also solved his own problem of inconsistency. His T20 career didn't really match his ODI numbers, but he maintained a strike rate of 130 to 140, which meant that his spot in a T20 team was never in danger. The highlight of his career was arguably his role in the 2019 World Cup. It began the World Cup with a half century against South Africa and 153 against Bangladesh. His form dipped slightly in the next few games and he suffered a hamstring injury, which ruled him out of a couple of matches. England lost the following 2 games, which meant that the last 2 games against India and New Zealand were virtual knockouts. Luckily for England, Jason Roy recovered in time for both the games, wherein he scored consecutive 50s. These quick-fire 50s laid a platform for the others, who capitalized on the good start and took England to 300 plus scores in both the games. Jason scored another quick-fire 50 in the semi-final against Australia, taking England to the first World Cup final since 1992. Although Jason failed to make an impact in the final, Ben Stokes' heroics ensured that England won the World Cup by the barest of margins. Although Stokes was the hero of the final, it cannot be denied that Jason Roy also played an integral part in England's triumph. 2019 was arguably Jason's best year in ODIs, as he scored 715 runs at a stunning average of 70 and an impressive strike rate of 120. At this time, Jason Roy had established himself as one of the most destructive openers in modern day white ball cricket. But his career post 2019 opened up a few problems. He lost his consistency post 2019 and struggled in the power play against the moving ball, which reduced his effectiveness as an opener. In 2020, he averaged an underwhelming 12 in ODIs and struck at just 88 in ODIs, which was below his standard of striking at over 100. His T20 form also took a slight dip as he averaged below 25, but he maintained a healthy strike rate of 138. Despite his average returns, Morgan backed Jason throughout his rough phase. 2021 was a much better year for him as he averaged more than 30 and struck as 146 in T20Is and averaged more than 40 in the 5 ODIs that he played. But what followed was Jason's worst and probably his final phase of his international career. He was doing alright in ODIs as he averaged 33 in 2022, but the same could not be said about his T20I form. His frequent dismissals in the power play meant that he averaged a meager 18 and struck at just 104. With Morgan retiring from international cricket and Jason's form in T20 declining, the selectors dropped him just before the T20 World Cup in favour of Alex Hales. Although he was dropped from the T20 squad, his spot in the ODI team was never in doubt due to his consistency in the format. 2023 started well for Jason as in his first 6 games, he scored 278 runs at an average of 46. He was set to be picked in the World Cup squad as the first choice opener, but just before the World Cup, he suffered a back spasm in the Ireland series, which meant that he missed the entire series. And unfortunately for him, David Malan had established himself as another consistent ODI player who could open the innings. Although Roy was back to be England's first choice opener, the selector shockingly preferred Malan to open alongside Bairstow and picked Harry Brook in the World Cup squad, thereby dropping Jason Roy from yet another World Cup squad. This was a much harder pill to swallow as Jason had done nothing wrong in ODIs. His form didn't really have a dip in ODIs and his strike rate also was never affected, which makes his omission quite shocking. Jason had played in multiple T20 leagues post his World Cup omission, but the selectors seem to have moved on to younger players, which means that maybe we may never witness Jason Roy play for England again. Although his England career might have ended abruptly, no one can deny that he was one of the main reasons why England became a party powerhouse in white ball cricket post 2015, and the world of cricket will never forget Jason's contribution to England's white ball revolution.